Shivananda Lahari. I make prostration to Shiva and Parvati, who form the embodiment of all arts, whose matted crests are adorned with the crescent moon, who are to each other the mutual rewards obtained by their respective austerities, who bestow on aspirants liberation and other fruits of devotional life, who are the source of abounding good to the three worlds, who reveal themselves in forms of ever-renewing novelty. With the progress of meditation and those whose experience generates supreme bliss in a mind contemplating on them. O Lord, thou bestower of happiness on the whole world, all glory unto that current of divine bliss which, brimming from the river of thy holy stories, flows into the lake of my mind through the canals of the intellect, subduing the dust of sins and cooling the heat of misery born of wanderings in transmigratory cycles. I contemplate in my heart on the supreme deity Shiva, the three-eyed and luminous being, who is to be known through the Vedas, who shines in the heart of creatures, who destroys the three bodies of his worshippers, who is the first of all beings, who is majestic with his pile of matted locks, who wears a garland of quivering serpents, who sports a deer in hand, who is merciful towards me, who is the Lord of all creatures, who is the support of pure consciousness, who is inseparable from the Divine Mother, and who has disguised himself in a worldly garb. In this world, many are the minor deities who bestow paltry rewards. I do not even in dream attach any importance either to them or to their worship, or to the results accruing from it. O Lord, O thou bestower of happiness and the embodiment of all goodness, for long I have been praying for thy lotus feet, which are difficult of attainment even for divinities like Vishnu and Brahma, who live in close proximity to thee. I'm not proficient in the law, codes, or philosophies, in medicine, in poetry or music, in ancient lores or mystic chants. How then, kings, be pleased with me? And who, after all, am I? Ignorant as I am like a beast? Save me, O Lord, out of thy far-famed mercy, thou all-knowing and all-pervading one. O man who deems yourself intelligent, will pot, lump of clay, atoms, smoke, fire, mountain, cloth, thread, ever repel the terrible god of death? In vain, then, is all your straining of the throat in heated controversies. Worship the Lord instead and attain quickly to supreme bliss. O Lord, thou supreme doer of good to all the worlds, may my mind be occupied with thy lotus feet, my speech with thy praise, my hands with thy worship, my ears with sacred accounts about thee, my intellect with thy meditation, and my eyes with the glory of thy form. Then by which organ would I study books unconnected with thee? O great God, thou Lord of creatures, Just as there is misapprehension of silver in mother of pearl, of gem in imitation stone, of milk in water mixed with flour, of water and mirage, so do ignorant men mistakenly worship various beings as the deity without thinking of thee in their mind. Dull-witted man, wandering about for flowers, goes to deep lotus lakes, to uninhabited dense forests, to high mountains. Lo, he does not know how to be happy in life by offering unto thee, the Lord of Uma, the unique lotus of his own heart. Let me be born as man or celestial, as wild beast or mosquito, as animal or worm, as bird or any other creature. What harm can accrue from these embodiments, if in every such birth my heart always feels inclined to disport in the waves of supreme bliss, consisting in the constant remembrance of thy lotus feet? O Lord, what does it avail a man to be a student, a household, an anchorite, or one of these four orders? O Master of all beings, bestower of all good, he whose heart lotus comes in thy possession, to him thou becomest his own, and thyself bearest his worldly burdens. What does it matter where a man lives, be it in a cave or a house, in the open or in a forest, on a mountaintop or in water, or in the midst of fires? O Lord, if a person's mind resides always at thy feet, his is the yogic state, and he is the supreme yogi and the happy man. O highest of beings, it befits thee to save me, who, stupefied by ignorance, is wallowing in hollow worldliness, far removed from the worship of thee, the Lord of all creatures. Where is the person more miserable than I? Where is one more skilled than thee in saving the wretched? And where in all the three worlds is another part from thee who is fit for one to take refuge in? O Lord of creatures, are there now the Almighty as the greatest friend of the miserable, of whom I am the chief? Is there not then a close kinship between us two? Therefore, thou bestower of good, thou shouldst forgive me, all my transgressions and work for my salvation, even if it be fraught with difficulty. For this is the test of close relationship everywhere. Were it not for thy indifference, why dost thou not cancel the writ of my destiny, which is so conducive to evil desires and so unfavorable to thy constant contemplation? Do not plead incapacity, for how did thou, with but the tips of thy fingernails, pluck off, without any exertion whatever, the head of that Brahma which is so firm and hard? O Lord, let Brahma the Creator be long-lived. May thou be pleased to spare his other four heads. For has he not awarded misery in this world? It may be asked why one should wish him a long life for this reason. Indeed, it is due to him, O pure one, that there is occasion for me to be saved by thy merciful glance, which is naturally intent on rescuing the miserable. O Lord, all-pervading, even after thy being pleased with me, either due to my meritorious works, due to thy grace, why is it that I cannot get a sight of thy holy lotus feet? For they are hidden from me by the golden crowns, studded with precious gems belonging to the crowd of celestials who prostrate at thy holy feet in excitement. Thou alone, O Lord, art capable of giving liberation, the highest of all rewards to men. Other deities like Vishnu only worship, the occupying the celestial states awarded by thee. Unlimited is thy liberal devotees, and unlimited too are my worldly desires. When art thou, therefore, going to save me with thy compassionate look? Worldly life is full of evil desires. It involves serving wicked masters. It is disastrous in the end. It is a source of sin, a productive of painful experiences. Say why, and for whose benefit dost thou not remedy this misery of mine? O Lord, if it however contributes to thy joy, we are indeed satisfied. O Lord, thou that bearest a skull in hand, thou mendicant, thou auspicious and all-pervading one, accepting this monkey mind of mine as my devout offering, bind it with the cord of devotion and bring it under thy control. This extremely wayward monkey that always wanders in the forest of ignorance, dancing on the hilltops of young women's breasts and moving about quickly in diverse directions along the branches of worldly desires. O thou destroyer of Cupid and ruler of the worlds, thou auspicious and all-pervading one attended by thy devotees, may thou, accompanied by thy divine Shakti, enter into and take residence the shining and movable tent of my mind, which is fixed every day on the royal road of divine contemplation, and which has the will as the pillar for its support, the gunas as its strong ropes, the numerous tendencies as its multiple colors, and the psychic centers as its lotus designs. O bestower of good, thou all-pervading one, prompted by greed and other evil qualities, and being enslaved by the tendency to misappropriate wealth, and the thief of my mind is roaming about extensively, bent on getting entrance into the houses of the rich. How can I suffer him to do so, O Lord of thieves? Deign to bring him under thy control and bestow thy grace on me, who am innocent of all guilt. All-pervading one, unto me, who am engaged in thy worship, vouchsafe eternal bliss at once. How could I possibly bear the grief if, as a result of thy worship, thou bestowest on me the position of Brahma or Vishnu, and still I fail to find thee in heaven or earth after searching for thee as a bird and a beast? When shall I, in a blissful mood, pass like a second the long period covered by the lifetime of many Brahmas, staying in the very essence of Shiva along with the goblins in a mansion of gold and precious gems situated in Mount Kailash, and praying with hands folded and held on the head? Save me, O supremely auspicious and all-pervading one. Thou art that united with the Divine Mother, thou Lord of all worlds. When shall I behold thee, three-eyed and blue-throated, sitting on the hump of thy huge and spirited bull, with the battle axe and deer in thy two hands, and Uma holding thy body in embrace, while the celestial attendants play about, the divinities like Brahma sing hymns of praise, and the ascetics cry, Hail! thou resident of the mountain, when shall I see thee and gain bliss unattainable, even by Brahma and others, holding with my hands thy holy feet, pressing them against my head, chest, and eyes, embracing them and smelling their fragrance resembling that of a full-blown lotus.